What's good, everybody? Welcome to Ho Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey. Today we're going to be doing a ranking video. So I follow a page on Instagram. It's called Liam Loves Movies. I saw this image and it really made my wheel spin, and I took it and I made my thumbnail for it. And so I never considered ranking the live action Jokers. I've talked about Batman and a bunch of different other characters, like what's your favorite version of this character? But the thought about Joker never crossed my mind. With this trailer for the second Joker film with Joaquin Phoenix coming out today, later on this evening, I said, you know what, today is a perfect time for me to do my ranking and post it and get some feedback from people about who they think the best portrayal of the Joker is. Now, I'll be honest, this list is actually anticlimactic if you start from the bottom and go up, because everybody kind of would agree on who are the top two. Everybody else is competing for third, fourth, fifth place. So we'll start at the top and we'll move backwards. And I think everybody should unanimously have Heath Ledger as their number one version of the Joker. He has the best portrayal of that character. He has an iconic performance, a performance so good that it could never be matched or imitated. A performance so good that he set the bar so high that anybody that would come after him would not be able to live up to it, which is why most people were so disappointed with what we got from Jared Leto, who is much further down on this list. Add that to the fact that Heath Ledger's Joker is also arguably the best Batman movie to ever exist, and he also plays great against his Batman. It's a no-brainer. He's the number one for me. Let me know in the comments if he's not your number one. Number two for me is Jack Nicholson, going with the classic. We have another great performance. We have a classic movie that he's a part of. He is great opposite Michael Keaton's Batman. And also, for a lot of people, Jack Nicholson will be the introduction to the Joker character for those people who did not like the third person on my list, who is Cesar Romero from the Adam West Batman TV show. So if you're my age and you went to your grandmother's house, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s, and she just had on the TV and it was like reruns. If you didn't do that, then you didn't get introduced to the Joker via Cesar Romero. I was introduced to the Joker via Cesar Romero. And so I think that that portrayal is corny and cheesy, but he lines up with and plays great against his Batman, Adam West. And so you have the campy Batman and the campy Joker. They meshed very well. And I think, if my memory is correct, he has the most time on screen with 22 appearances in that show. So that makes for a good body of work. And I imagine that Cesar Romero should be, you know, right around the middle on anybody's list. Now, I got to be honest here. When we get to 4 and below, for me, I just really don't care and not really moved at all emotionally by any of these Jokers. Like, they can line up anywhere on your list outside the top 3. For me, my top 3 are the ones that I really enjoyed seeing and I really have fond memories of. And then everybody else is kind of like blah. So number 4 on my list would be Joaquin Phoenix, or however you pronounce his first name. We all know who we're talking about here. The Joker from the Joker film that made $1 billion. And listen, his movie was deep. His movie was psychological. I enjoyed it. I thought that the movie was a good movie, but I am objective. And I also know that there are a lot of people that probably didn't like that movie and don't like his version of the Joker. My wife went to watch this movie with me, the Joker, in theaters. And when he got in the refrigerator, my wife was like, what are we looking at? Why don't we leave now? She didn't enjoy it. I'm sure there's many other people who didn't enjoy it. And I think about that version of the Joker, and to me, it stands out because he's the Joker without a Batman. And so there's no yin and yang balance there. There's something missing there. And I feel like it's present in that movie, and it's also going to be present in the sequel. We're going to do a trailer reaction, hopefully, for when that trailer does come out, and hopefully I can put it out without any restrictions. But I will share my thoughts on it, but I don't know if I'm going to see a musical, y'all. It's just taking things that route really makes me feel kind of about that character or his portrayal of that character. 5 on my list is Jared Leto's Joker. When I think about him, I think wasted potential. Listen, the bar was already set very high because when it comes to movies and live action, There was only the Cameron Monaghan Joker that was on the Gotham TV show that was done between Heath Ledger and Jared Leto. Not many people watch that Gotham TV show. Cameron Monaghan's Joker is actually further down on my list. And when I think about Jared Leto, I just think he didn't get a lot of screen time in Suicide Squad. Most of that were deleted scenes. I didn't even go back and check up on them. I don't care about an air cut or anything like that. We got what we got, and it wasn't great. But they tried to go different with the character design. I wasn't, upset about that. He tried to go really, really different with the mannerisms of the Joker. Again, kind of trying to distance himself from Heath Ledger's performance. And again, that performance being the bar, he had to try something different. I think he swung and missed. And I think that maybe if he got more time on screen, it may have turned out better. He barely got any time on screen with Ben Affleck's Batman, who I am a big fan of. And so I don't know. It's a wasted run on the character when I think about Jared Leto. Cameron Monaghan's Joker is next. I watched 1 season and a half of Gotham. I was not overly impressed with the show, and it just kind of fell out of my realm of things to do. I did go back and check out the episodes where he was featured as Joker, where it was one version of the Joker, and then they brought him back as a twin. And I hadn't been keeping up with the show, but I did go back and look at some of those episodes, and I think his portrayal was nice, but it's kind of a nothing burger. You have a property that is like Gotham centric, but there's no Batman. And so that feels weird to me when they do stuff like that. Also kind of like Sony when they do Spider-Man properties and Spider-Man villains with no Spider-Man. It just doesn't sit all the way right. And so that didn't sit all the way right to me, the Cameron Monaghan version of the character. Jerome was better than the first version they did, but either way, that live action iteration of the character is not high up on my list of things to go back and rewatch or things that I enjoyed watching for the first time. And last on my list is Barry Cohen, and actually he's not really a part of my list, y'all, because his Joker from The Batman in 2022 was a deleted scene. And so I actually only saw that on YouTube on my phone, not in cinemas. And it's like, okay, you're doing a mixture of what appears to be Heath's character with the scars and everything else like that, but then something really, really different and unique with the way the character looks and kind of how he sounds. And hey, I don't have a problem. I like the laugh. The laugh was cool, but at the same time, when are we going to actually see that character in his fullness? Who knows when? And so I just don't even want to include him. I mentioned him because he was a live action version, but most of the world didn't go back and look at that deleted scene. And so he got to be bottom tier for that reason. That's my listing of the live action Jokers. That's how I rank them. Again, I really enjoyed the first 3, have fond memories of the first 3. The next 4 that show up is like, I don't really care that much for them or about them. But let me know your experience with the Jokers. And do you put Joaquin Phoenix's Joker higher? I saw some people list him when I was like researching for pictures and things like that. I saw some people put him as the #1 version of the Joker. And I just did not enjoy that movie that much. Nor do I feel like I'm going to enjoy the sequel that much to say I'm going to put him as the #1 version of the Joker. So those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And that's all we have for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.